Hi, I'm Lori Leinbach from the Culinary Underground School of Home Cooking. I'm going to make a dish today called pasta with sardines. And this is a Sicilian dish that makes use of a great sustainable piece of seafood, which is sardines. I'm going to start by toasting some pine nuts. This dish has sardines and pine nuts and raisins, which seems an odd combination, but it really works together. This dish has a lot of influences from Arabia. And I'm going to just toast these pine nuts in a dry pan over medium heat. You want to keep an eye on them because they go rather quickly once they start to brown. So now my pine nuts, I can smell them. They're toasting up nicely. And I'm going to take those off the heat, put them over there. And I'm going to start my pan over here with olive oil. A couple of turns of that, just get the bottom of your pan coated. And then I'm going to start with my garlic and some of my dried chili peppers, and I'm just going to crumble up with my hand, and the oil is going to enhance those, bring out the flavor of them. This is just to give it just a little bit of a kick. And in that also I'm going to put my fennel. I've actually just chopped these up and put them in the microwave for a few minutes just to soften them up. And we're just going to cook these up for a few minutes, get them soft, get the garlic sizzling. Now, if I were using fresh sardines, I would saute them for a few minutes in the pan. But since I'm using canned, I'm not going to bother with that. Something else I'm going to add to this is I'm going to put a little bit of anchovy in here as well and mash that up with the back of my fork. This is going to make my fish taste a little bit fishier because when you use fresh fish, you know, you're going to get that really intense fish flavor. The canned ones, sometimes not so intense, so we're going to supplement a little bit with our anchovy. And once those start to, I can smell the garlic, I'm going to add my golden raisins, which I've plumped up with a little water. Get those in there. Some of my pine nuts. This is actually the sauce for our pasta. And now I'm going to add my sardines. These are nice big ones. This dish, you know, the pine nuts, the raisins, they're all Arab influences on this dish. And the sardines, of course, come from all around the island. They're delicious. I've pre-cooked my pasta and held it a little bit over here. Once this is all warmed up, I'm going to add some of my pasta to this, as well as some of the pasta cooking water that I've reserved. I think that's important when you make pasta dishes. Always save some of the water that you've cooked with. It has a lot of flavor from the pasta. It's a little bit thick from the gluten on the pasta, and it's going to help thicken your dish and moisturize it. Pasta just keeps absorbing and absorbing water, and you don't want your dish to get too tight, your pasta to get too tight. So I'm going to take some of this and add it right into the pan. You want to use linguine or a hollow pasta like bucatini or percatelli. Those would be the standard ones for this dish. And a little of my pasta cooking water here. And I'm going to let that all get nice and hot. Now, this is not the most beautiful dish in the world, so we're going to flavor it up and punch it up with a little fresh parsley. You could save the fronds from your fennel for this as well. They're quite beautiful. A little bit of lemon, and I like to serve this with lemon wedges on the side, which I'll do. And right here at the end, since I'm still kind of cooking this up, this is when I add my saffron water, and that's going to make the dish also a little bit prettier too. And you can see how this is now coloring the pasta, making it a little bit more yellow, and the sardines are breaking up here. The Italians would serve this rather than cheese because this is from Sicily, and Sicily's traditionally a poor country. They wouldn't put cheese on it anyway, but they would put in toasted breadcrumbs. And what I did here is I just took some panko, which I love because they have nice, it's a nice fluffy dry breadcrumb, and I just toasted it in a pan, a dry pan, until it was brown, and then you put this on top. And that's the dish. Toasted breadcrumbs on top, a little more parsley, some lemon slices around the edges, and that's all there is to pasta con sarde from Sicily.